rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels scream and spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oh, slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies and bends. Ruthless turns, heart turns savage till the night ends. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Underneath the moonlight, crowds roar so loud. Pride's in the throttle, not in faces of a crowd. A brotherhood of metal, sweat, gears that grind. Cross that line or get left behind. Cold air cuts the dawn, still our fires rage. Holding bruises like trophies, exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty now, but the ghosts they remain. This dirt track story sings forever in our veins. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is raw real.
boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready here for another amazing show. It is the Friday night street fights here this afternoon as the Friday edition of the Dirt Warrior Racing League Trinity Series, where every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights they go to battle out there on the racetrack 2 nights of the week. We are live here on Peacemaker Gaming, bringing you all the action, all of the amazing battles out there on the racetrack as drivers hopping out onto the speedway right now, looking to lay down their quick times, hoping to try to qualify up there at the front of the field and looking to try to race their way in to what could be a great show of racing action. Steven Stefanski up to the pole position, quick time here in qualifying. Ryan Howard, Chris Hill, Chris Herrera, Cameron Stefanski, our top 5 out there on the racetrack. Then we see Dakota Proud, Bryce Dickinson, Jim Remvis up and into 8th out there on the speedway. Chase Collins there in 9th, and Gavin Isley. Good to see Gavin out there on the racetrack. Gavin currently right now in that 10th position. Dan Stifler, Lon Franks, William Hargraves, James Ferguson there in position number 14. And then we see Jonathan Danley back there in 15th. Brandon Van Houten, Kevin Bowley, Charles Davis, Corey Stansell out there in 21st right now as Jackie Whaley's going to jump up into that 10th spot on the speedway. Now we do see Jamie Masty to the top of the speed charts. Quick time goes to the 6th ride. The 1:19 19 machine, the 19 ride here this afternoon into the top spot. Eddie Furness into second. Jeremy Aikens now into third as we'll get these drivers all ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle. Whaley up into 13th there in his beautiful DWR number 720 ride. Brandon Holtmeyer, good to see Brandon out there on the racetrack. Mr. Holtmeyer jumps up into position number 14 there on the speedway in that beautiful number 4 ride as he gets ready to go to battle, gets ready to duke it out here himself in that B&M Trucking number 4 machine. As we'll get ready to set them loose, we'll get ready to go to battle as the Caledonia Haulers number 4 ride. Ready to duke it out here. Massey, though, after picking up the win in our Wednesday night street fights, he's looking to try to bank it up with another win here this afternoon. And now we do see T-Jack, the Alpha Shark, out there as well. Tyler Jackson jumps up into the 8th position there in that number 8 ride. As we'll get all these drivers ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here this evening. Qualifying pretty much coming to a close. The 37, Eric Pelletier out there on the speedway. Pelletier in position number 29 as of right now. Michael Goodwin back there in position number 33 here in qualifying. We have had 36 drivers take times. We are still waiting for a bunch of drivers to potentially jump out there and try to lay down a quick time here this afternoon, but their time to shine is quickly coming to a close here. Their opportunity to run and get a qualifying lap in is going to come to an end very, very soon. As we'll get them all ready to go to battle here. 65 laps of racing action here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're just tuning in, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. As Amy Stefanski coming in says, let's go Stefanski boys! Cheering on the Stefanski boys here this afternoon as all the Stefanski boys going to be looking to try to put themselves up and into victory lane. Right now, Steven Stefanski sits in position number 6. Cameron Stefanski back there in 11th. They're going to be looking to try to race their way up to the front of the field here this afternoon. Evan Stefanski back in 32nd, not the qualifying run that Evan was hoping for, and we don't see Jacob Stefanski out there. Only the 3 Stefanskis here this afternoon. Gonna mix things up, gonna dice things up out there on the racetrack as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go to battle here as our warm-up session about to get underway. Is Rob Stefanski. What's good, Rob? Rob coming in, dropping that like on the stream. There's Jake Stefanski. How are you, Jake? Jake coming in, showing the love here no matter what in this one. Coming to that heart reaction and the share on the stream as well. How are you, Jake? How are you doing this afternoon? As Jimmy Massey says, Jacob is second. Laugh out loud. Was he? Jacob wasn't second. Jamie, you're messing with me now. I don't see Jake Stefanski even out there on the racetrack, brother. What do you mean he was second? He's second. He's second. He ain't second. I don't even see him out there. What? No, you're messing with me. As Jake says, let's go. Let's go. Let's good, Mr. Stefanski. How are you, brother? And Mr. Stefanski coming in, showing the love here in this one. T-Jack with a quick time here in this warm-up session. This driver's going to jump out onto the racetrack. They're going to look to lay down some laps here, make sure their cars are absolutely set up, perfectly ready to rock and roll here for this A-main feature event. Wait, there's Jacob Stefanski. Why did it not show me Jake Stefanski until right now? It did not show me an SDK that Jake was even on the racetrack. I swear to God it did. I swear to God it did. It's messing with me. It's messing with me. You're messing with me. You're all messing with me. But we do see that Tommy Gunn, number 7X, out there on the speedway. Jake rolling there now into position number 2 here. Now slides back to third as Dale Barnes up and into position number 2 here as Brandon Holtmeyer out there on the speedway. Jackie Whaley there in 5th. William Hargraves, Jamie Massey, Cameron Stefanski, the beautiful number 17 ride. That is the Dirt Warrior Racing League Grumpy Graphics ride. That is the iRacing iFlag machine of Dan Stifler right there as well, out there on the racetrack, laying some lap times down. Here comes Brandon Van Houten as well there on the speedway. We do see Bryce Dickinson, Brycey Bear. paint scheme here for Brycey Bear. Beautiful looking Papa Mike Promotion 618 engraving number 84 on that H&L machine. The Mama Bear ride looking very fresh out there on the speedway, looking very good here this afternoon. We'll see what Brycey Bear can do and see if he can try to put this 84 up and into victory lane here this afternoon. We do see Chase Collins out there as well as Steven Stefanski. Here comes Chris Herrera in that 7 ride. Charles Davis out there in that 50 machine. Kevin Bowley in that beautiful looking Tommy Gun Customs number 30 ride as he rolls out there. That rocket chassis ride currently sits in that 16th position here in this warm-up session as everyone is trying to make sure their cars are absolutely perfect and ready to rumble here from Federated Auto Parts Raceway, here the home of the Friday night street fights here with the Dirt Warrior Racing League, their final race of the Trinity Series here this week. As 3 races, 3 amazing shows, 3 amazing opportunities for drivers to have a little fun, enjoy their time on the simulator, and enjoy some good times, some good competition out there on the racetrack with no drama. Yo, what's good? Eddie coming in. How are you? Eddie Farnes coming in, showing the love here in this one with that like on the stream. How are you, Eddie? How you doing this afternoon? Eddie's out there on the racetrack. He's ready to rock and roll. He's ready to go to battle here this afternoon. Actually, he's not Eddie. Yeah, Eddie's out there, and Dale Farnes. So both the Farneses out there on the speedway, both looking to try to put on a show for us here this afternoon. There's William Hargraves. Hargraves out there in that Malum Electric Dirt Panda Vince Liquor Dirt Warrior Racing League number 71 H-Ride as he's ready to duke it out here. We see a lot of fast cats, man. These guys are just continue to lay down good lap times. We do see that Dirt Warrior Racing Dirt Panda number 8 ride. That's T-Jack, the Alpha Shark out there on the speedway, looking good, looking fresh as always here. And T-Jack right now showing a lot of speed. He has the quickest lap time out there on the racetrack in this warm-up session. We do see Gavin Isley out there as well. Good to see Gavin in that Performance Automotive number 18 ride, sliding out there on the speedway as well. So good to see Gavin out there on the racetrack, ready to rock and roll, ready to battle here this evening in these dirt street stocks as we'll get them all stacked up, ranked up, and ready to go to battle in just a couple more moments. Oh man, this could be a lot of fun. This could be great. As Amy says, he was ghosting, laugh loud. He was definitely ghosting. He was definitely ghosting out there, man. He was definitely ghosting. I didn't see his name up there. It didn't show me anywhere on that list, man. I went through all the Stefanskis. Twice I went through the list. I went down and went back up through all those drivers, and not once did I see Jake's name on that list. So he was just hiding from me there during that qualifying session. But good to see him out there nonetheless and ready to battle here this evening as we get all the Stefanskis, all 4 Stefanskis battling here this afternoon. Long Frank's out there in that beautiful DWR iRacing iFlag number 10 ride out there on the racetrack, ready to go to battle here himself. Always such a beautiful paint scheme there for that 10 ride. That is a I don't know who did that. I'm pretty sure it was the Grumpy Graphics Jim Revis who made that paint scheme, man, and he knocked that thing out of the park. That car is always looking fresh out there on the speedway. The rust and everything else that kind of pumps up through it, man. Whew, baby, that thing looks good. We'll get ready to go to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out. Here is Evan Stefanski. Evan coming in, showing the love with that heart reaction. Says Sunrise Racing, baby. Cheered on all the Sunrise Racing rides. Hoping to see a couple of them potentially up inside, victory lane here. Maybe up on the broadcast booth and, potentially coming home inside the top 3 here this evening. As here we go. We'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go. Our main feature event about to get started. And starting on the pole in that 19 ride, that is the iRacing iFlag DWR HNL, the beautiful looking machine of Jamie Massey. Massey will start on the pole, but looks like he may choose to take an EOL here and start at the rear of the field as he pulls down to the inside. That's going to move our line up here a little bit. That's going to put Eddie Farnes. Eddie will now start in that top position, the pole spot here this afternoon. To his outside will be that 7X, the Tommy Gun Customs ride of Jacob Stefanski. Then we see Dale Farnes there in third. To his outside will be the other 7 ride. That is Jeremy Aikens. And we see the 4X of Ryan Howard rounding out our top 5. Steven Stefanski there in 6. Chris Hill, Tyler Jackson back there bringing up our 8th position in that 8 ride. Then we see this 2 machine, the Sunrise Racing ride. That is Cameron Stefanski, and rounding out our top 10 is Chris Herrera. Then we see Bryce Dickinson, that Papa Mike Promotions HNL ride there in 11th. Dakota Proud, Jim Revis, Jackie Whaley, Brandon Holtmeyer, Chase Collins, Gavin Isley, Dan Stifler, Lon Franks, William Hargraves, Jonathan Danley, Brandon Van Houten, Kevin Bowley, Charles Davis, Evan Stefanski, Stephen Burrow. They're in position number 26. Jamie Massey bringing up the rear of the field back in 27th as he took that EOL win to the back of the pack. Now going to have to try to race his way up and through the traffic as we are quickly green flag racing here at the beautiful Federated Auto Parts Raceway. Already some good battling here at the front of the field. Drivers trying to find a lane, trying to find a groove, trying to get to the front of the field as we got a parking lot down here in corner number 3 and 4. It is a parking lot, and upside down, it's Tyler Jackson. T-Jack upside down there on the racetrack. A bunch of calamity here, a ton of tore up race cars, and our first caution flag of the day was a big one. Looks like it starts pretty close to the front of the field here. That 4X ride, Ryan Howard down through the middle. That's Chris Hill down to his inside. The 8 of Tyler Jackson working to his outside. They're 3 wide, and unfortunately, looks like the 4 and the 8 just get tied together. Then everyone else just slams in here, and look at T-Jack just fly around there, and it is a parking lot here in corner number 3 and 4. My gosh, a ton of tore up race cars, body panels, bumpers, fenders all over the racetrack there. Everyone just trying to survive and make their way through all that action. Unfortunately, they just can't make their way through there quick enough as T-Jack right here gets pinched up into the outside wall. Then watch everyone just slide in here, and he just goes flying through the sky. Nothing he can do except for enjoy the ride, and Jamie Massey tied up in it. Kevin Bowley, the 24 in there. Lon Franks getting tied up in that one. The 7, the 45. So many drivers. Jim Ravis stuck right in the middle of that as well as T-Jack takes his car right down pit road here. And unfortunately, a lot of these drivers going to be looking to get some heavy repairs, trying to get their cars fixed up and back out there onto the racetrack. As Jim Ravis here, just nowhere for him to go out there on the racetrack. He's trying to slide through there. He's going to drive right into this. Luckily enough for a lot of these drivers, they were able to avoid it and get through this down on the inside lane, and luckily enough for them, they were able to get through there. You do see Dan Stifler get turned around. Wow. A lot of drivers, a lot of cars tore up here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway. Drivers headed down pit side looking to get repairs, trying to get their cars fixed up and back out there on the racetrack as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. At the front of the field, it's a pair of Farnesses. It is Eddie Farnes and Dale Farnes, 1 and 2. They have the front row all to themselves here as they roll down and out of corner number 4. The green flag back out into the air. The green flag back out here is the 21 back under the throttle and quickly slides up in front of that 27 right, really kicking that rear end out. Gotta be very careful of that. 65 laps of racing action. You may want to try to protect a little bit of tires here, try to keep yourself out of the carnage and try to save your car here a little bit as everyone just try to battle their way through there. Jim Revis getting a poke right there from that 35 right of Jonathan Danley, Gavin Isley, Brandon Van Houten, all these guys 3, 4 wide out there on the speedway, and there's not a whole lot of room out there to maneuver. Unfortunately, that's where we see drivers making contact, bouncing off each other. Luckily enough, everyone able to skate through that and keep themselves pointed in the right direction, and here comes Jamie Massey. Massey from the rear of the field got very minimal damage there on that caution flag, and here he is trying to race his way back up towards the front of the field as he's right there putting on a heck of a show, trying to race his way from the back of the pack to the front of the pack here this afternoon is Eddie Farnes, Jacob Stefanski, Dale Farnes, our top 3 out there on the speedway. That 27 right trying to battle back down low as Jeremy Vaughn coming in says, what a car count. Noise. Yeah, noise. A beautiful car count. A lot of great drivers, a lot of fast cats out there on the speedway. Already one big wreck down through corner 3 and 4, and at any moment in time we can see another massive pile up out there. And for these drivers, our race leaders, they are quickly starting to close in towards the rear of the field. Less than half a racetrack away to start running into some lap traffic out there on the racetrack. And if you're that 21 at Eddie Farnes, you got to make sure you keep that in the back of your mind, that you're going to be able to hit lap traffic at the perfect time and try to keep a lot of drivers, a lot of cars in between yourself and that second place driver. As the 27 of Dale Farnes trying to hang on to position number 2, it's Jacob Stefanski trying to take it away. Cameron Stefanski there in 4th, and Steven Stefanski there in position number 5 is Jackie Whaley down to his inside. Chris Hill there in 7th with Jeremy Aikens back in 8th, and here comes Bryce Dickinson, Brycey Bear just inside the top 10, battling door to door with William Hargraves there for that 10th position. Unfortunately gets a little checked up right there, trying to avoid contact with Jeremy Aikens as Aikens continues to slide backwards. Here comes Brandon Van Houten. Van Houten there on the left with Chase Collins back there in 12th. Jamie Massey now up and into 13th here. He's already worked his way halfway through this field from the back of the pack, trying to get to the front of the pack here as Gavin Isley right there in the 15th position as Jim Revis in that iRacing iFlag DWR machine down to his inside. Isley in that Performance Automotive number 18 ride, battling there with that iRacing iFlag machine of Jim Revis, and right behind him he sees a couple more DWR rides starting to close in on his back bumper. As Long Franks, Tyler Jackson right there trying to work their way back up towards the front of the field. Both drivers got tied up in that first wreck down through corner 3 and 4 as Evan Stefanski in the 22 rolls there in the 19th spot. Dan Stifler, Chris Herrera, Dakota Proud, Stephen Burrow there in position number 23. Kevin Boley, Charles Davis, Brandon Holtmeyer, unfortunately already down and out of this race in with Ryan Howard, as Howard and Holtmeyer both have taken their cars down pit road and off of the racetrack. So a heartbreaker there for both of those cats. Is out in front, continuing to lead the way, it's Eddie Farnes. Farnes out in front, showing these drivers that he is the car to beat here this evening. He is the car, he's the driver that everybody's hunting down. Everyone is trying to catch up and see if they can make the move around it. Already down 17 laps off this race. 17 laps already into the history books. We still got a lot of racing left to go here. Just under 50 laps of racing action left here this afternoon from the beautiful Federated Auto Parts Raceway. And for a lot of these drivers, they got to be a little bit nervous. Even up here at the front of the field, they start to see that number 19 rider, Jamie Massey, working his way closer and closer towards the top 10. Right now, though, kind of stuck in traffic a little bit here, trying to figure out a way to try to navigate himself through Jeremy Aikens and Jonathan Danley. Danley up on that high side here, and there you go. Massey just going to go right through the middle here, able to get a good run, clears that 7 right down low. Now he's going to try to find his way around this 35 right and put himself up into position number 11. Some contact deeper in the field. Look out as the 45 right of Stephen Barrow's going to run into issues, and the caution flag will come back out. So the caution flag back out is the TNT Racing number 45 right going to run into some issues here. I'm not sure if Dan Stifler may have gotten tied up in this one as well. Looks like Stifler just in front of him may have been part of the problem here. Looks like him and Isley going to come together. Isley's going to get turned around. They all kind of stack in there. Unfortunately, a bunch of cars getting tore up right there. Nowhere to go for the number, man, that's the 14 ride right there. That's the 14 machine of Dakota Proud, I do believe. Yeah, Dakota Proud, nowhere to go. Slams in there. Steven gets in there. That 30 ride of Kevin Boley gets in there. Some pretty hard contact for a bunch of those drivers. Isley's just trying to keep that car pointing the right direction. Stifler, unfortunately, getting into him there and just turning that 18 ride around. And for Isley, not the way he wanted things to go here in this one. Just trying to keep himself out of trouble. Trying to keep that car pointing the right direction. Unfortunately, not a whole lot he could do here. Rolling the outside lane, Stifler just sends it in there deep. Unfortunately, slides up into the door, right into that left rear quarter panel, spins him around. Luckily enough, not too much damage there to that 18 ride. They stay tied together there a couple more times down through quarter 3 and 4, and that's where we'll see that DWR Dirt Panda number 17 machine take his car down pit side. As we'll get him stacked up, we'll get him racked up, we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing as Jeremy Vaughn says just got here, but gotta show some love. Let's go, brother. I appreciate that, Jeremy, coming in, showing the big love here in this one with that heart reaction on the stream. Suzanne Adams Farnes also coming in with that like on the stream. How are you, Suzanne? Coming in, showing the love here in this one. Is ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here at Federated Auto Parts Raceways. There we go, green flag back out into the air. Eddie Furnace back onto the lamp pedal, trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay as the caution flag will come right back out. More contact back there behind him. Cautions breeding cautions, and this time, oh no, looks like Bryce Dickinson in that beautiful Papa Mike Promotion 618 engraving and designs ride may have gotten tied up here. Sits in ninth position on the racetrack. Looks like the 35 just sends it in there too deep, gets into the back end of him, spins him around, then everyone else just trying to play dodge car. Unfortunately there for that 30 ride, the Tommy Gun Customs machine gets another piece of a car and goes around there and gets some damage again for himself. As let's take another look at this one. Some pretty good contact. The 35 ride just trying to get a good jump here on the restart. Builds up a ton of speed, a ton of momentum. Unfortunately, nowhere really to go. Everyone's in front of him, and he just gets in there too deep. Gets into the back end of that 84 ride of Bryce Dickinson. Bryce, nothing he can do except for trying to hang on to that car and hope for the best. And unfortunately, he gets turned around. The 35, he's got the 7. Now jacked up underneath of him. The 21 goes around off the bumper of the 22 ride. And, oh man, Isley nowhere to go. He gets tied up in it. The 30 ride in there, he has nowhere to go. He gets some heavy damage, and unfortunately a quick caution flag out there on the speedway once again. So quick caution flags there, cautions breeding cautions. Hopefully we'll see things go back to Green Flag Racing, get everyone hooked back up and ready to duke it out here again in this one. As in front, it's still that number 21 ride, Eddie Farnes. He has looked very, very strong all evening long, and he's going to look to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay as we'll get ready to duke it out here. Once again, we'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing down through quarter number 4. And here you go, back to battle here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway as Eddie Farnes out in front looking to clear that 7X ride. But here comes Jacob Stefanski. Stefanski there to his outside, door to door, down through 3 and out of 4. We'll get a new race leader down across the line. The 7X of Jacob Stefanski will lead that lap. The slide job right there out of the 21 machine. Maybe a little payback. A slide job for himself here in that 7X ride is Jacob Stefanski and Eddie Farnes duking it out here at the front of the field, and it's bringing Dale Farnes right into that battle. Dale's trying to poke that 27's nose right into this fight here at the front of the field as this racetrack really starting to take form, really starting to take shape. Very slick out there on the corners, and for these drivers, it's going to be a slide job city here this afternoon. It's going to be a lot of tight racing, a lot of back and forth out there on the speedway with these sliders, crossovers, everything else, and drivers just try to find a lane or a way back up to the front of the field. One of those being Jamie Massey. Massey, who was supposed to start in that pole position, took a EOL to start this race. He's starting to claw his way up inside the top 10 as he rolls there in that 8th position, and right behind him is that number 8 ride, Tyler Jackson. T-Jack got tied up in the first wreck of the afternoon. We saw this 8 ride upside down through the middle of quarter 3 and 4. In for Tyler Jackson to battle back here and now race his way up and into position number 8 on the racetrack. He's on a move here to the front as well, and he's all over that back bumper of Jamie Massey, and you see Jackie Whaley start to get that top side figured out. Now cuts down low here, trying to find his way around that too. Cameron Stefanski. Cameron trying to hang on to it here is William Hargraves right there in front of him. They get tight together down through quarter number 1, and oh, baby, man, this is going to be a great race right down to the very end as Stefanski is able to capture that race lead, able to keep both the Farneses back there at bay as Eddie and Dale trying to hunt him down. Hargraves there in 4th now as Cameron Stefanski falls back to 5th, and here comes Jamie Massey looking to push him back a little bit farther. So they battle door to door now for that 5th position as Jamie Massey working his way inside the top 5 here on the racetrack. From the doghouse, potentially, to the penthouse here for that 19 ride as he rolls down low, looking to try to put himself out in front of the field here. He's going to be trying to work his way through this top 5 in a quick hurry and see if he can steal another big win this afternoon. Trying to come from the back of the pack to the front of the field. T-Jack trying to do the exact same thing here is Tyler back there in position number 8 with Brandon Van Houten. Long Frank's now running out our top 10. Steven Stefanski, Chris Hill, Evan Stefanski, Jeremy Aikens back there in 14th. Dakota Proud, Chris Herrera, Jim Revis, Bryce Dickinson back here as well. That HNL Papa Mike Promotions, Mama Bear, number 84 ride. He's stuck back there in that 18th position as Jonathan Danley and Gavin Isley right there behind him. Charles Davis there in 21st. The 24 ride, that is Chase Collins in the 30. Kevin Bowley rounding out our top 23. Unfortunately for the 45 is Stephen Burrow. He's back down pit road. Same with Dan Stifler, Brandon Holtmeyer, Ryan Howard, all down and out of this race. They've taken their cars back behind pit wall here this afternoon as the battle at the front of the field is speeded back up and making the move back down low. A great run there for the 21 as Eddie Farnes takes that race lead back away. Dale Farnes trying to go right there with him into position number 2, and it's a pair of Farneses here at the front of the field once again this afternoon. As Jacob Stefanski slides back into 3rd, William Hargraves there in 4th, trying to hold off Jamie Massey as Massey putting the pressure here to the back end and down to the inside of that 71H of William Hargraves. They continue to battle as Cameron Stefanski tries to hold on to 6. He's got T-Jack, Tyler Jackson, and that 70 ride of Jackie Whaley there to his outside. Jackie blinking heavily out there on the speedway. Drivers are going to have to be very, very cautious of that, as if he starts blinking, you're trying to make the move around him or potentially contact. Could take you around, could take him around and cause some issues out there on the speedway. As we see a great green flag run right here. Drivers doing a fantastic job, even with a field full of 23 drivers still rolling on the racetrack. Some good green flag laps being laid down here. These guys do a fantastic job out there on the speedway. And quickly clicking off the laps is only 25 more laps left to go. 25 more laps left to duke it out here in this one as the 21 ride continues to lead the way. The Farnes is out in front, looking to try to pick up a big win here. A 1-2 finish here, potentially for the Farneses this afternoon, as Eddie Dale sitting in the top 2 spots. Dale starting to slide back a little bit as Eddie starting to stretch out that race lead again on the racetrack. As Jake Stefanski hangs on to 3rd, Hargrave still hanging on to position number 4 here as Massey works down to his inside. Stefanski there, Cameron Stefanski back in 6th. As Tyler Jackson, T-Jack, able to make the move, steal that 7th spot away from Jackie Whaley. Whaley now in a fight here with Lon Franks, a pair of Dirt Warrior Racing League teammates out there on the racetrack. Jackie and Lon duking it out here for position number 8 on the speedway. Brandon Van Hout right now rounding out our top 10 as you see that slide job right there in front of him. Lon goes for the slider, just clears the nose of the 720. Jackie will pay it back there to Lon down through quarter 1 and 2. Now here comes Lon back down to the inside. He's looking to do it again here in quarter 3 and 4. Goes up the racetrack, opens up the door down low. We're going to see this battle in the slide jumps commence between these two, but that time the 10 ride kind of blocks that slide jump lane, doesn't allow that number 720 ride to get the run he was looking for, as we see some contact there deeper in the field, and the caution flag will come back out. Caution flag back out on the racetrack, and it's the Papa Mike Promotions HNL, the 618 engraving and designs ride of Bryce Dickinson getting tied up here in another one. Heavy damage there to Bryce's front end. Let's take a look and see what happens, as I do believe it's going to start with the 22 ride of Evan Stefanski here. Evan in that 22. Now he's a few spots in front of that 84 ride. He's battling with Chris Hill, and unfortunately it looks like him and Hill going to make some contact right there. That's going to get the 22 back to the shape, and unfortunately he gets turned sideways and nowhere to go for Bryce Dickinson as he slams right into him. Man, that is a heartbreaker there for Brycey Bear. It's really nothing he could do, nowhere he could go, and just slams right into the driver's side door. Hopefully Evan is A-okay. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Bryce and see what he can see here from the cockpit, as he's just trying to roll around the racetrack here, trying to race his way back up towards the top 10, and all of a sudden it's a parking lot here, nowhere for him to go, and bam, heavy contact 3-4 times there, bouncing off that Sunrise Racing 22 machine. Tough hits there. Looks like he's gotten that car fixed back up, though. He's rolling back out there onto the racetrack as we roll back to the green flag. Green flag back out into the air, and for some of these drivers, that we're back there inside our top 10, maybe just outside the top 10. If they were waiting patiently, maybe trying to save some tires out there on the speedway, this may be the time to shine, as you do see Jamie Massey able to make the move, get around that number 71H, but look out, Cameron Stefanski, he's always on the racetrack. They're beating him banging 4, 5, 6 wide, hard up into the outside fence, and there's the caution flag. Caution flag finally coming out. I don't know how we continue to keep on going there for a little while, as these drivers were absolutely tearing each other apart down through quarter 1 and 2. Heavy contact, heavy battling, and it starts with that 2 right, as unfortunately for Cameron Stefanski, just tied up right in the middle of it, and everyone just battling their way through this, man. I don't know how everyone kept themselves, for the most part, even still somewhat pointed the right direction. You see Lon in the 10, and the 2 come together, and that just piles everyone together. Then see the 2 kind of comes up into Brandon Van Houten. Van Houten nowhere to go, slams Chris Herrera in that 7 right up into the outside fence. They're still beating and banging, making contact down through 3 and 4, and lucky enough for a lot of these drivers, able to kind of keep their cars pointed in the right direction, keep on racing and not lose too many positions on the racetrack. Unfortunately there for the number 2 ride, he's going to head down pit side, going to get some work done to his car. Same with that 7 of Chris Herrera, as they'll both get fixed back up, both slide back out there onto the racetrack, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing, as the pair of Barnes at the front of the field getting ready to go back to green flag racing. As Steven says, it's pronounced Baru. Okay, see, this is the first time I think you've told me how to say your last name, brother. I know I've been saying it wrong all this time. And no one's broken it down for me. Baru. We got it, baby. We got it. As Stephen Baru coming in says, love you, buddy. We love you too, Steven. How are you, my dude? Hopefully, even though your night has went wrong here in this one, as Kelly Coffey says, no Octane Outlaws tonight. No Octane Outlaws tonight, unfortunately, there, Kelly. Unfortunately, we couldn't get things worked out there on the schedule-wise, and unfortunately, no Octane Outlaws here this afternoon. Unfortunately, we wish we could. If they could have pulled back maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes in their start time, we could have fit them in right after this one. Unfortunately, we had this series kind of locked in from quite a few months ago, and we got another one coming up as well, so we just needed that time shift to go backwards a little bit. Unfortunately, just couldn't get it. As in front, it's Eddie Farnes continuing to lead the way. Dale Farnes right there in position number 2. Jamie Massey from the rear of the field, now up and into 3rd here. We'll have to wait and see if he can make some late race moves, trying to get himself to the front of this back, see if he can jump back into that top spot, as he was supposed to start in that pole position. Unfortunately, just could not get the start there in that one, and unfortunately had to go to the back of the pack, but he has worked his way up and into 3rd, now making his way around Jake Stefanski, as Jake back in position number 4. It's T-Jack Tyler Jackson, who got tore up in that first caution flag. We saw this car upside down, going through a wild ride here in quarter 3 and 4. Now parks himself up inside the top 5, seeing if he can race his way back up onto the podium here for T-Jack. Lon Franks also tied up in that first yellow flag. He's there in 6th. Jackie Whaley, William Hargraves, Chris Hill, and Brandon Van Houten rounding out our top 10 there on the racetrack. Steven Stefanski, Jim Revis, Jeremy Aikens, Dakota Proud, Gavin Isley rounding out our top 15 here with Bryce Dickinson, Chase Collins, Evan Stefanski, Kevin Boley, and Charles Davis rounding out the top 20. Cameron Stefanski there in 21st, and then we see Chris Herrera back in 22nd, as that is going to be the end of our drivers still racing here on the racetrack. Unfortunately, we've already lost about 5 or 6 drivers out of this race, and we're going to continue on battling here right down to the very end. Does Massey, does T-Jack, does Dale Farnes have something here left under their car, and see if they can find that extra little bit of gear, that extra little bit of traction, and see if they can jump up here and maybe steal this win away from Eddie. Eddie trying to hang on to it, though, trying to keep that DWR number 21 right out in front, continue to lead this race and looking to put himself into victory lane with only 6 more laps left to go. As Hypershift Racing League, what's good, Hypershift? Hypershift ready, coming in, showing the love here in this one. says, my God, this is awesome. I would die on dirt, but this is some amazing racing. These guys are top-notch. They are some of the best in the business out there in these dirt street stocks, and they are proving it again here this afternoon as they continue to battle. Green flag racing nonstop, door to door, inches apart there on the speedways down across the line. Only 4 more laps left to go for Mr. Farness. The Farness is 1 and 2 on the speedway. You see Jamie Massey starting to poke his nose into that battle here, giving a bit of a shot there to Dale. Dale trying to hang on to that second position, but Jamie knows that he's running out of time. If he wants to make a move to try to get to the front of the field and try to win this race, it is now or never. As the kid back there in second, Eddie Farness though out in front, down across the line, will click off another lap here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway as the Dirt Warrior Racing League Trinity race number 3 of the week about to come to a close is down through quarter 3, and out of 4 we will see that white flag fly one more time around here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway. It's Eddie Farness who leads us for the final time down the back straightaway, nice and easy down through quarter number 3, and out of 4 Dale can't get there as Eddie Farness will pick up the win here this afternoon. Eddie gets it done and picks up the dub here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway. Dale Farness comes home in second as it's a Farness 1 and 2 here this afternoon. Jamie Massey will have to settle there for third as his Dirt Warrior Racing League Papa Mike Promotions iRacing iFlag number 19 ride comes home there in third. Jacob Stefanski, Tyler Jackson rounding out our top 5 with Lon Franks, Jackie Whaley, William Hargraves, Jim Revis, and Brandon Van Houten, our top 10 here this evening. As man, oh man, what a run, what a race, and what a drive here for that 21 machine of Eddie Farness. As Farness able to get the dub and put himself up and into victory lane, and we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews. Post-race interviews about to come up here if we're going to be doing them here. Now, we were hoping that we could get the time frame opened up there and getting the Octane Outlaws, set up for starting their race about 15 minutes after 9 o'clock, not at 9 o'clock, and we would be ending this stream and jumping in there with them, but they decided to go a different way here, and unfortunately, we don't have their race. They elected to go with not having it broadcasted for their final 3 races of their season, which is a heartbreaker. Wish we could have got it in. Wish we could have got that time frame figured out and got them in here for some more racing action. Maybe next week or the week after, maybe they'll see this, see how quickly this one kind of gets rocking and rolling, and hopefully get next week's and the final week's races broadcasted there. Just need that time, the start time, just push back a little bit, just a little bit, as we don't see Eddie or Dale in the Discord here, so we'll have to wait and see if we get them in here for some post-race interviews. But we do have Jamie Massey, our third place finisher, waiting patiently down pit side. Let's get Jamie up here into the booth. Jamie waiting down there. Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth, see what he's got to say about tonight's racing action. Hey Jamie, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
I got you, brother.
Jamie, man, another great run, another great race as you're able to battle your way again from the back of the pack up to the front of the field there. Unfortunately, it looks like maybe just a little damage, maybe just using up that car a little too much as you finally got yourself up inside the top 5. You had to battle tough there on the restarts to get around William Hargraves and Jake Stefanski, and unfortunately, you just didn't have quite enough to find your way around the Farnesses here this evening as Eddie and Dale able to beat you back across the line here this evening, man. But you got to be happy with the performance in the drive there, getting yourself all the way back up here to finish third from dead last.
Yeah, man, I got in that first little wreck and got damaged and didn't go. I just thought the track position was a little more important, and then I realized that I had to give all them spots back anyway, so I should have went and got it fixed when I got in that first little wreck. And then I come through the field and I got beat around a little bit, but that's full fender racing, man. It's just racing hard, and we put ourselves in position there to get in the top 3, and them 2 brothers, they did everything right, man. They stayed in line. They didn't race each other. I think if we could have got them to move, we were a little bit faster because I could mess up trying to get under him and then lose ground to him, and then I'd run him right back down. But they did everything right. They didn't get to racing and didn't give me a door to make a pass. So we settled for third there. I pushed him and did everything I could to make him try to make a mistake. It's just them boys have been doing it a long time, and they didn't. It didn't rattle them, so they held on to the 1-2. No, pretty good race, man, and proud of them too. They, like I said, I've been around them guys for a long time, and they know what they're doing, and they kept the old 19 behind them tonight. That's good job.
Yeah, absolutely keeping you back there at bay is no easy task, as about 25 other drivers were able to do it here this evening. As Jamie, you park it back up on the podium here. Another solid top 3 performance for you, man. Who would you like to thank here this afternoon for another great run, great race, and great time out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody over at H&L, all my teammates, man. Like I said, I haven't been racing a lot. The only thing I've really been running is this league actually. I've been trying to get on and update some of my late model stuff for my guys, and so I've just been trying to play a little bit, and I'm getting back comfortable, and uh just all the guys over at Papa Mike's Promotions, Mama Bear. Like I said, you know how I feel about that crew. They do a lot for me on and off the sim, and I couldn't do none of this without them. And Jim and everybody over at DWRL for putting the league on. That's why I kind of, I'm not on DWR or nothing. I got my own team, but I, like I said, a lot of my street stock success has come from racing with guys from DWR, or racing with street stocks guys like JC Floyd and all the good guys that are in dirt street stocks, man. So I'm running just old paint schemes from the memories, you know what I mean? And I got a lot of them with these guys, so I'll run another DWR L car tonight. And congrats to Eddie and Dale on the win there, and we'll see y'all. I guess it's Monday night.
Yes, sir. We'll see you back out there on the racetrack, and hopefully see you right back up here in Victory Lane. Jamie, congrats on the third place run here this evening, and congrats on the great run, great performance, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth next week.
Thank you, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Jamie Massey, the showstopper, coming home there in third, as we'll get ready for the drivers that were the showstopper stoppers here this evening. It's Eddie Farnes, our race winner, waiting down patiently here in the Discord. Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Eddie, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Take it a copy?
Yes, sir.
Eddie, man, what a run, what a race. Take us back through this one, man, as you were able to quickly jump out in front after getting the, seeing the EOL there to Jamie Massey, puts you on the front row. You were able to take the early race lead, but there for a while you had to duke it out with Jake Stefanski, who's the only driver here tonight to be able to make a pass and get around you there on the racetrack, but it wasn't for long until you took that race lead back away and ran away with this one, but it didn't come without having to work your butt off, as there was a lot of pressure all over your back bumper, even with your brother Dale right there on your back end. You saw Jamie Massey and T-Jack, Tyler Jackson, Lon Franks, all these drivers, all the fast cats starting to race their way up towards the front of the field, looking to try to knock you out of that top position, but you're able to hang on, click these laps off, and pull yourself up here into the Federated Auto Parts Raceway Victory Lane, man. Take us back through this race, and what's going through your mind right now as you park down there in Victory Lane?
Oh man, it's been a while since I've won a race, and especially a field of this caliber. So this one feels pretty good. But no, I didn't know they did the last race winner gets the EOL thing. So Jamie got the EOL, and it put me on the pole. And I always feel pretty comfortable when we are in control of the restart. So got out front earlier there, and Jake found that top line. I was running that slider through 3 and 4, but I didn't really like it in 1 and 2. I kind of started running the middle, and then once this track started going slick, that middle came around, and that's where I just placed it there the rest of the race, and it worked. And it was kind of reminded me of real life, because I run these in real life, and most of the tracks around here are this slick at the end of the night, and it's just about throttle control, keeping the car straight, and the smallest mistake would lose you the race. But fortunately, we were able to hang on to it tonight and just keep her smooth and straight.
Absolutely smooth, straight throttle control, and that real life dirt racing experience coming into play here this afternoon as you park that 21 up and into victory lane here in the Dirt Warrior Racing League's Trinity Series here, the third race of the week here for these guys, and here to capture this win here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway. And as you said, man, there's a lot of great drivers, a ton of talented cats out there on the speedway that have been around the scene that have won some major races, and you're able to hold them all off and put yourself up into victory lane here this afternoon. As 80, a great win, great race, a lot of fun out there on the speedway, especially when you can pull it up into victory lane, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this afternoon?
First and foremost, I gotta thank Dale. He's always on with me, and I talked him into coming out tonight. He was kind of iffy about it, but I just told him let's go have fun, see what we can do, and because I was honestly thinking about going playing darts, and then we ran this, and we ended up qualifying way better than we thought we would, and now we're 1-2 tonight. So I guess it worked out pretty well. But yeah, I gotta thank I gotta thank Dale first and foremost, of course, my wife for putting up with me doing this as much as I do it, with me running my league again on Sunday. So her. And then all my real life sponsors: Mountain View Plumbing, DOA Pro Wrestling, Pride and Groove Pet Grooming, Cedarscapes, amazing embroidery and screen printing, GR Smith Construction, and yeah, just I'm a Jim and Lon and all the guys that put this on. It's the first one I've been able to do. I have Fridays off now, so hopefully I'll be able to make some of the more of the Friday races. Can't make them during the week, but definitely be back for some Friday night racing. And you, as always, for putting on a great broadcast.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Eddie, hopefully we see you out here for some more great racing action. And as you said, man, maybe even more checkered flags for yourself, man. After that performance, that race, man, you're going to be a strong competitor again out there on the speedway and looking to keep all these drivers back there at bay again next Friday night. We can't wait to see you in action and looking to pick up another win here in the DWRL.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely, Eddie. Enjoy the rest of your night, and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane.
For sure.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Eddie Furness as Eddie picks up the win and pulls himself up and into victory lane here this evening. As we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, it's Dale Furness. Dale coming home in position number 2. Didn't get the opportunity to try to steal this win away, but Eddie and Dale Furness both coming home on the front row here, 1 and 2 this afternoon. Let's get ready to pull Dale up and into the broadcast booth for his great run, great performance in that 27 machine. Hey, Dale, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
I got you.
Dale, man, a strong run, a great race here, and from what we heard there, that interview with Eddie, it's probably a good thing you guys showed up here this afternoon, man. A 1-2 finish for the Farness has got to feel pretty dang good, and keeping all these drivers like Jamie Massey, Tyler Jackson, Hargraves, and so many more back there at bay has got to feel pretty dang good.
Oh yeah, and this was such a last minute decision. We were like, you know what, screw it, man. We'll go out there, have some fun. Eddie kind of covered the basis with that. We weren't sure how we were gonna do, and then we qualified pretty dang good, and we were like, all right, we'll stick it out, run it, and then both of us never left top 3. So pretty good night. And yeah, you got guys like Jamie and William coming through the field that were halfway through already up to the top 5, banging on our bumpers. So you got talent and all up and down this field.
A lot of talent, a lot of fast cats, and you and Eddie able to hold them all off and come home 1 and 2 here at Federated Auto Parts Raceway. Man, it's got to feel pretty good. It's got to feel pretty special being able to pull that off, get that 1 and 2, and, as he said, you had that pressure. You had Massey beating down your back bumper there, trying to make you, get a little loose, maybe wash up the racetrack, or just, roll out of the throttle out of these corners. And unfortunately for Jamie, you never faltered, never really made a mistake, and you were able to hold him off there late in this race, keep those hard chargers back there at bay, and finish off that 1-2 finish.
Yeah, the benefit of being on here a little bit longer than most people is that racing with these guys on dirt, and especially street stocks like Jamie. I've raced Jamie a lot in street stocks, and I know he won't wreck you, but he will give you a shot in the shorts, and he will let you know he's there. And I knew it was coming at some point, so I was like, just hold on to it, don't think about it, and you're gonna, you can hold on to it. You just got to keep it in control. So.
Absolutely. Well, you were able to hold on to a pretty wheel right there and park that 27 ride up on the podium in position number 2 here this evening. But late in this race, were you thinking about maybe trying to make a move to take this win away from Eddie, or were you pretty confident just coming home with the 1-2 finish?
I'm never going to complain with a 1-2 finish, but no, I think the last 10 laps, we both were just trading back and forth of who was faster. So it was like, I could have sent it in there, but then I don't want to screw both of our nights and end up, giving up the win to, Jamie or someone else. So I was okay with second. I wasn't really gonna push the issue, and he started just driving straight clean. So he was gone. I wasn't gonna send it in there and do that to him. Too good of a race, and he ran too good of a race to do that to him. So he deserved it all the way.
Absolutely, some great respect out there amongst drivers and brothers there on the racetrack as Delia Parkett here in position number 2 behind Eddie this afternoon is a Farness 1-2 finish here this evening. Man, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the speedway?
Yeah, man. Eddie, he is the reason why I have iRacing, the reason why I race still, because he knows I like to have my tempers flare. So, big thanks to him, my mom, dad, Nana. They've put so much into me doing this and dealing with my bull. All my family, DWR Pro Wrestling, McCord Trucking, Pride and Groom Pet Grooming, Jim for putting on the league, and then you for this great podcast.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Dale, great run, great race. Congratulations on that second place finish here this afternoon, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack, hopefully next Friday, and maybe see if you guys can go back to back and get another 1-2 finish here for the Farnesses here in the Dirt Warrior Racing League.
Sounds good, but I think we'll have to switch it next time.
There you go. Well, I don't think Eddie would be too upset about that one. Beauty. Dale, enjoy the rest of your night, and congrats again on the second place run.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher here this evening. As Dale Farness coming home there in position number 2. Great run, great race there by him. As Stephen Baru coming in says, great broadcast, bud. Thanks. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate you tuning in and showing the love here in this one. As Mr. Baru coming in, showing the love here this afternoon. And dropping the love over there on YouTube. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. As Taylor Pratt over there on Facebook says, gosh, I'm so hot right now. Taylor, I can imagine. I could only imagine how hot you are, brother, and I appreciate you tuning in and showing the love here in this one. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, showing the love here this afternoon. Unfortunately, that's going to do it for us. I'm at the end of basically about 11 days straight of work, so I'm going to get ready to eat dinner quickly and go to bed. And I can't thank you guys enough for showing the love and tuning in this evening. And we'll see you guys back in here tomorrow for some more racing action, some more fun here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Peace and love, baby. Peace and love. We'll catch y'all in the next one. See you guys later. Woo! What a run. What a race. What a drive out there on the racetrack, man. Federated Auto Parts Raceway. Always such a beautiful, beautiful race.
Roaring engines rip the night, burning bright, yeah, no stop. Wheels screaming, spit that fire, dirt and gravel, they pop. Oil slick under the street lights, the shadows start to dance. Adrenaline like thunder, man, give me that last chance. Wednesday night, street fights, racing for the win. Broken steel and busted dreams, we wear it on our skin. Smell the fumes, taste the danger, hold tight to the wheel. This ain't no love song, baby, this is raw real. Crowds gather up like wolves, howling for that speed. Races blood pumping fast, gasoline is all they need. Tracks alive like a monster, the dirt flies in bed. trophies exhaling battle cage. The stands are empty